Hello everyone, welcome back to another video from Shomos Biology. This is a big update at this moment, and that is UGC's tweet. And the tweet is regarding the minimum criteria required to be a lecturer or assistant professor in university or colleges. As per UGC Act, the minimum criteria is no longer PhD. Earlier, the minimum criteria to appear in any of the colleges or universities as an assistant professor was PhD along with the NET, SET, SLET eligibility. But now the minimum criteria was altered and made PhD as not mandatory for actively participating as an assistant professor in university or colleges. And that's really a big update. And right now people are talking about this image. You can clearly see this picture in here. This image they are talking about particularly is a tweet from UGC India, and this is the news that has been shared already. Now this is a simple news. I believe till this point many of you know this news. Many who didn't know, right now they know about the news, but it's more important to discuss about the outcomes of this particular news, whether it's a good news or a bad news. So just wait for few more minutes and go through this whole video, because here I'm going to put two different point of view regarding the idea of minimum qualification criteria of PhD. Now before this particular tweet, without this tweet, actual notification is also out, and which you can clearly see here. The actual notification is out, and you clearly see that the UGC has the power to alter the rules and regulations as per the University Grant Commission Act 1956, 3rd of 1956, 3 out of 1956. That is the whole idea, and stated the point of rules and regulations for the measurement and maintenance for the standards in the higher education as per 2018. And they stated, here you can see the 3.10, the para number 3.10, you can clearly see NET/SET/SLET shall be the minimum criteria for the direct recruitment to the post of assistant professor for all higher educational institutions, be it colleges, be it universities. Now this is something that acts as a take home. So this is a take home message from all of you by Professor Manish Joshi. Manish Joshi ji ने already कहा यहाँ पे the dates and everything is clearly written in here. The note, the principal regulations were published in the Gazette of India Extraordinary under part 3 section 4 wide, the number is already given, and dated 18th July 2018, and that is the particular idea that 2018 is a prescribed year, but it is now being applicable right now, applicable from 1st July 2023. So it's now being into the force from 1st July 2023. So from 1st July 2023 onwards, the recruitment in colleges and universities, the minimum criteria for being assistant professor will be NET, SET or SLET, nothing else. Now remind you, the minimum criteria of assistant professor application is NET, SET or SLET. That does not necessarily mean the college or university can accept anyone with NET, SET without PhD. They can accept anyone with PhD, that's their choice, but the eligibility criteria to become an assistant professor on all centralized university under the supervision of UGC is SET, NET or SLET. Okay, so now what is the positive side and negative side of this particular decision? Obviously there is a positive side to it, because I personally believe that PhD may not be necessary always to teach well. You don't need always PhD holders to teach well. Personally, I am not a PhD holder, and I have trained so many students over the last 10 years online. And to be honest, if I did PhD and continue my journey with the PhD, I couldn't have created Shomos Biology, the largest reservoir of life science lectures on this globe in the very first place. It's not possible. The teaching is a skill which is a performing art that depends on your speaking skills and many other things. But for PhD is an entire different route. I believe those who are very serious about doing research work must go for PhD and postdoc. And there is always a huge conflict of interest between students whether they choose an academic career or a research based career. But right now that path will be crystal clear in your head. If you want to stay and teach then you don't need to go for PhD. You don't need to bother about PhD. Obviously, you need to qualify NET or SET or SLET equivalent examinations to be eligible as a lecturer position for this job. That is a good thing because a licensing exam is kind of required for the field of education. I believe, in my personal opinion, in the future times also, they must introduce some sort of licensing exam for teachers. Just something that is present for doctors, for CA, for lawyers, but teachers are unaccounted. So they must provide some sort of licensing services, I believe, which is necessary, which is required. Probably we'll do that in future. But for now on, the path is clear. If you want to go for postdoctoral research and continue your career in research field, go with PhD. And postdoctoral research and continue as a research assistant, research associate, research scientist, and so on. So that's a positive side. Now, what about the negative side of this? The negative side of this, many may say that can change the balance that was still there in universities and colleges till now. The permanent tenure positions are held by PhD holders. So now once the new recruitment will be done as per this notification, non-PhD holders will join the college. So at the very beginning of first 5 to 10 years, while both of them coexist in the colleges, there will be some sort of competition between their intellectual ground. I believe that's a practical issue that many may face, who will not be a PhD candidate, who will teach in the colleges along with the other PhD holder candidates or teachers or lecturers teaching in the colleges. So in that case, this is going to be something miss of a harmony that can be there. On the other hand, students may lack the intention to pursue PhD in their career, because PhD life is longer compared, the graduation is now 4 years, and then the masters, so total of 6 years. Then again qualifying for NET, even if you qualify NET examination or SET or any of this, particularly for PhD NET, again let's say still 0 year if you consider, but still 6 plus PhD minimum 5 years, so 11 years. So somewhere ranging between 11 to 15 years the time frame after completion of PhD. And after all this, people say that after MSc, that is 6 years only, and then qualify SET, NET, and it will be easier for them to qualify NET LS, because the NET LS cutoff is comparatively lower than the NET JRF. So obviously they will say the 6 year and there is a 11 to 12 year. So approximately double the time frame you need to devote before you get a permanent job. So I believe most of the aspirants will clump for LS category while they fill the form for CSI NET rather than JRF. So there will be less competition for JRF, I believe, because that's the mentality of the students right now. And why not? Because people want to devote less time and get a secure future. And after all these 6 years, after NET, SET and SLET, they will apply for it. And that will raise the concern even more, because what happens is that something like the ecological principle, if you recall my lectures on ecology, that there is a top-down effect that will always be regulated. So the same thing will be regulated. First few sessions of CSI NET, you will see the change. More people will apply for LS, less people will apply for JRF. And once they apply for LS, they qualify LS, and they will search the job. So obviously for every single phase, searching the job in the college or university will be extremely competitive, and as it will be extremely competitive, only few of them can only get the chance to appear in there and qualify. And once, let's say for one position of assistant professor, 100 students will apply, 100 teachers will apply. In that case, among the 100 teachers, then only select one. Based on what criteria they will select? Only interview will not help. So in that case, the college will say that will only preferably take PhD candidate. Although the minimum criteria is NET, SET or SLET, they'll say, okay, we are following the minimum criteria, but we have huge flow of aspirants for the same position, so we'll preferably take PhD candidates. Mark my word, write it down. This is going to happen, and once it starts happening, automatically again the balance will be made. Again students will apply for PhD as well as LS like before. So it's going to have some sort of impact in first few sessions, and then everything will be balanced just like before. This is my personal opinion from my experience, and I believe this is going to happen in times to come. But for now on, enjoy this part. For those who were trying effortlessly to qualify CSI NET examination, particularly JRF, are failing, already have their masters and everything, they can apply for LS, they can qualify LS, still they get their chance as a assistant professor. But those who are young right now, just the MSc pass out candidates, I would recommend you to keep your aim higher, keep your aim to do PhD, postdoc. And if does not permits you, if it does not permit you, if you need to teach well, teaching is your passion. Right now the colleges and institutes are not only the places where you can teach, there are other edtech companies out there where you can also teach, getting a better salary than what colleges and universities can provide you. So if teaching is your passion and you can teach well, in that case you can continue your journey with this teaching field. So that's a well thought out decision, I believe, as a decision that we can all try, and obviously they have the right to change it in future if they require it. So I believe if it's wrong in some way, if it's hampering the harmony in some way, they are going to change it in future. So till then, keep it up. Thank you.